In the age of digital connectivity, social media has become an integral part of our daily lives. For Generation Z, those born between mid 1990 and early 2010, social media is not just a tool for communication, but a vital space for social interaction, self-expression, and information. However, alongside the benefits of instant connection and access to information, there is a growing concern about the impact on social media on mental health, particularly the rising rate of depression among Gen Z. Enabling us to deeply understand the negative impact from social media, we collect few authors, CCP clips, and professor analysis to guide us. Welcome to our exploration of the impact of social media on Generation Z's mental health. Today we have few researchers who has authored a comprehensive article on this critical issue.
Hello and welcome to our viewers. Today we are joined by Jasmine, Amber, Jessica, Cecily, and Valerie, a distinguished academic who has extensively researched the relationship between social media and depression among Generation Z. Well, to start, could you tell us a bit about your background and what motivated you to explore this topic?
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. Certainly, I'm a PhD student with a focus on adolescent mental health. Over the past few years, I have been particularly interested in how digital environments influence psychological well-being, the rise of social media use among young people, and the corresponding increase in mental health issues like depression motivated me to delve deeper into this subject.
Your article highlights several key factors that contribute to the link between social media use and depression in Gen Z. Well, could you briefly explain some of these factors?
Of course, one of the primary factors is social comparison. On social media, people often present idealized versions of themselves, which can lead others to compare themselves affordably. This can significantly impact self-esteem and contribute to a feeling of depression. One of the primary factors is cyberbullying. Unlike traditional bullying, cyberbullying can happen 24/7 and can be more pervasive because it follows the victim home through their devices. This constant exposure can lead to severe emotional distress. One of the primary factors is sleep distribution. Excessive social media use, especially before bedtime, can disrupt sleep patterns, leading to mental health issues like depression and anxiety. One of the primary factors is addiction and time displacement. Social media can be addictive, leading to excessive that you displace time for physical activities, face-to-face interactions, and other health behavior. The lack of these activities can contribute to feelings of isolation and depression. One of the primary factors is fear of missing out. Constant exposure to others' activities and the fear of being left out can increase the feeling of loneliness and depression.
Thank you so much. This has been incredibly insightful. Well, before we wrap it up, is there anything else you'd like to share with our viewers?
Just a reminder that while social media has its challenges, it also has the potential to connect and support us in meaningful ways. By being mindful of how we use it, we can harness its benefits while minimizing its drawbacks.
Wise words. Thank you once again for sharing your expertise with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Now let's watch the CCP's clip together.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Brittany from CBB News, reporting on a significant study conducted by our team regarding Generation Z and depression linked to social media usage. So, to gather our data, we utilize Google Forms, which is an effective tool for primary data collection. This platform allows us to create an online survey reaching out directly to our target demographic, which is Generation Z. Our methodology included a variety of question types to ensure comprehensive insights such as Likert scale questions, yes and no answers, and multiple choice answers. We distributed the survey to friends and family via social media or asking them individually in real life. Ethical considerations were very paramount in our research, as we prioritized informed consent and utilized Google Forms privacy settings to protect responses' privacy. Moreover, the survey was conducted anonymously, which actually encouraged participants to share their experiences honestly and without concern. Now, I'll introduce my colleague, Asil.
Hi!
Hi, how are you?
I'm great, and you?
I'm good too. So did you think that there were any mistakes in our study?
No, I think it was pretty clear.
Even though our research was pretty clear, we did encounter a few limitations that could affect the representativeness of our data.
Yeah, I remember those.
So how do we organize our data in the end despite the limitations and mistakes? Well, to begin with, we converted our Google Form responses into Excel for thorough examination. Firstly, our survey exclusively targeted individuals born in 1997 and 2010, which focuses solely on Generation Z. Unfortunately, this meant that we did not capture any responses from Generation Y, which could have provided a broader perspective. Additionally, we identified some issues with our survey design on Google Forms. Certain questions were not as clear as they should have been, and we overlooked setting some critical questions as required. These oversights might have impacted the completeness and clarity of responses that we received. But despite these challenges, our study provides valuable insights into the impact of social media on Generation Z's mental health. We will continue to refine our methods to ensure more comprehensive and representative data in any future research. Given the presence of some true responses, we meticulously reviewed the data, correcting typographical errors, standardizing formats such as ensuring all ages were listed in years, and removing any incomplete or duplicate entries. This careful data cleansing was essential to maintain accuracy and consistency in our analysis. So once we organized all the data, we created some summary tables to condense the data. These tables include a breakdown of responses by age range, providing a clear overview of our data distribution. Thank you for watching. This is Brittany from CBB News, keeping you guys informed.
To be more in-depth with the topic, let me show you the visualization and analysis from Harvard Business professor.
For the visual of this project, we have highlighted main aspects that influence our outcome. It was conducted to be 68.8% as females and 31.3% as males. We collected 100% from participants from Generation Z. Participants are mostly from Asia. However, a significant amount is from Europe and some are from Africa and America. These are the results from the questionnaires. Generation Z mostly uses social media to keep in contact with family and friends, as well as the entertainment purposes. Participants mostly prefer to use Instagram for interaction and entertainment. So, the main purpose of this questionnaire was to analyze if the social media affects the mental health of participants and if those get any symptoms such as sadness and fatigue, etc. 61.7% answered as a yes, they have experienced it. On the scale from 1 to 5, it shows that at the number of 3, how often they feel it. Anxiety and fear of missing out was experienced the most due to our social media usage. However, pressure to present a certain image and feelings of inadequacy was also measured in the high result. As for feeling jealous for seeing other people's posts, they feel it at the scale of 3 in the average. So 57 people answered it the most.
My name is Professor Hubert, and I'll be analyzing a survey based on depression on social media by Generation Z. So I was able to organize the data using the filter mode from Google Sheets. I was able to organize the X and Y axis, which are independent and dependent variables. I set the independent variables to be how many hours do you spend on social media. Independent variables have to be standalone and doesn't change any factors. As the main null hypothesis is that social media doesn't affect depression on Gen Z, and the main alternative hypothesis is social media does affect depression in Gen Z. To prove that the H0 and H1, the survey was from Generation Z from all over the world using Google Forms. To measure if I can reject or fail to reject the null hypothesis, I have used our main independent variables and various dependent variables using the questions in the survey to set 5 mini hypotheses. There are 5 dependent variables that can be measured to find subcomponents or subfactors leading to depression. As you can see that I filtered 5 questions that fit the study, which has depression factors in the questions. Through finding the relationship between X and Y, I was able to determine if the time usage on social media will affect Gen Z in obtaining depression, vice versa. So to organize the data in finding the p-value, using the pivot table is the best option as it filters the X and Y variables. Using the filter tool in Google Sheets helps organize the data, but the data is yet to be summarized from large quantities of data of both independent and dependent variables. Using the pivot tables, we can see that the independent variable is constant while comparing 5 dependent variables. Through the pivot table, I did an inference test analysis using the chi-square test of independence. as the test examines whether two categorical variables, nominal and ordinal, are independent in influencing the test statistics. The chief test of independence helps decide if two variables are related or not. Before starting the chief test, as some data has plot holes with no values, which will result in an error if using Google Sheets. Using the sum-if formula to reorganize and sum up the data, with this formula, we are able to find the observed result. Next step, to find the expected results of the data, I use the expected frequency formula, which is row total times column total divided by overall total, as expected results are probability count of the data. The G-test provides two approaches, which is the critical value approach and the p-value approach. As for our data, using the p-value approach provides a more direct measure of evidence against the null hypothesis. After calculating both the observed and expected results, we use the Chi-test formula, which returns the probability associated with the range of observed and expected data. So based on the results, we can see that 3 of the p-values are being rejected due to the p-value being stronger than the Cronbach alpha of 0.05, showing that there is weak evidence between two variables. The G-test for questions relating to depression and its symptoms have significant high p-values, showing that the time duration using on social media doesn't affect the experience of depression and symptoms. Despite this, two G-tests show that time usage of social media can cause the users to lose track of time and feel jealousy or depression. Through the Chi-test, there is no sufficient evidence to prove that social media usage based on time duration can affect depression levels. This may be caused by the limitations of the Chi-test itself. The Chi-test is extremely sensitive to sample size. Even insignificant relationships can appear statistically significant when a large enough sample is used. Statistically significant does not always imply meaningful when using the Chi-test. The second limitation is the chi-square can only determine whether two variables are related. It does not necessarily follow that one variable has a causal relationship with the other. It will require a more detailed analysis to establish causality. And that is all from Professor Hubert, and thank you.
To conclude the topic analysis, we would like to welcome Ariana Huffington, the CEO of Thrive Global.
Good afternoon, I'm Ariana Huffington, the CEO and the founder of Thrive Global. Our company aims to redefine productivity through well-being and improve the world's health and performance through science-backed behavior change. To sum up the previous research exploring the impact of social media on Generation Z in terms of depression, we have set a main hypothesis. To measure the relationship, sub-hypotheses enable more accurate evidence on the main idea of this study. Multiple Chi-tests have helped us find the relation between time spent on social media and depression levels. However, it could be argued that there's not enough of a link between them because based on the p-values from 5 inference tests, only 2 have rejected the null hypothesis. It might be due to the existence of bias, such as sampling error where the sample is too small to be representative, or cultural difference because of many different nationalities have been involved. And also different factors could influence depression levels of Gen Z, not only the time usage on social media. However, through those data, we could still tell it has a significant correlation but no causation between these two variables. Well, in my opinion, social media itself is not the problem. It is the way that Generation Z use in place of actual communication and in-person socializing. However, cyberbullying, social anxiety, feeling of inadequacy, feeling of missing out, pressure of sharing images are truly existing and frequently appearing as their time on social media increases. I'm sad to say that suicide rates among teenagers have grown more than 50% over the last 3 decades, according to the American Association of Suicidology. And how much of that was caused by the social media, we don't know, but we do know that there will be consequences if the downside of social media has took the control of Gen Z's mind. So as parents, as friends, as Gen Z, what do you think you should do to avoid bigger issues caused by social media? And what will you do to help those people who have shared their depression with you? And how to objectively think about the benefits and disadvantages of social media in our lives. It is what we are working on right now to improve the well-being and performance of Gen Z. We hope you could share your thoughts in the comments of this video. See you next time.